Hello, today we are going to be covering the IXL assignment R8D, multiply and divide integers. First off, let's refresh our memory on what an integer is. An integer is any number on the positive side of the number line. It does include 0, and then also the numbers on the negative side of the number line. That means we do have to pay very close attention to whether our numbers are positive or negative, because that will affect the sign of our answer. For today's assignment, we are going to be focusing solely on the rules for multiplication and division. So if we look at this little chart here, that is the bottom right here, multiply or divide. For multiplication and division, these are actually my favorite because it's just two rules and they're cut and dry, nice and straightforward. And that is, if you have two numbers with the same sign, your answer will be positive. So for an example, if we had a positive 1 and we are going to multiply that by a positive 3, they have the same sign. They're both positive numbers. Our answer will be a positive number as well. Same goes if they're both negative numbers. If we have a negative 2 times a negative 6, their signs are the same. They're both negative, which means our answer will be a positive 12. The flip side of that is, what if your signs are different? You have one of each. Well, if you have different signs, then your answer will be negative. For example, if we had a negative 5 times a positive 2, their signs are different. The 5 is negative, the 2 is positive, which means our answer is a negative 10. Doesn't really matter which one's negative. If our first number is positive, it'll be the same rule. So if we started with a positive 10 and we multiply that by a negative 3, the signs are different. 10 is positive, 3 is negative. That means our answer will be a negative. And those are the two rules. All right, let's switch over to IXL so we can do a little bit more practice. Here I am on assignment R8D, multiply and divide integers. When I see a problem, the first thing I like to do is look at my signs and determine whether the answer will be positive or negative. Then I can do the multiplication. For this problem, we have a positive 3 times a negative 2. So I have a positive 3 times a negative 2. If I think back to those rules, their signs are different, which means our answer will be negative. Once you know that, you can just look at the absolute value. So just focus on the number itself, not the sign, and do your multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6. Our answer is negative 6. Make sure that you type that in correctly with the negative, and looky there, we're right. With this one of the ways that we can represent division is with a fraction. Let me tell you a cool little secret real quick. If we think about that division sign that we usually use, so negative 27 divided by negative 9, look how that division sign is a dot, a bar, and a dot. That's actually a fraction, and those two dots represents numbers. So that negative 27 is that top dot, and then negative 9 is the bottom one. So if you didn't know that, there's your fun little fact for the day. All right, back to the problem. Once again, I want to focus on my signs first, figure out what the sign of my answer will be, the sign of our quotient, then we can do the actual division. Well, I notice that they have the same sign. We have a negative 27 and a negative 9. If you have the same sign and you're multiplying or dividing, your answer will always be positive. Now you can do the division. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So our answer is a positive 3. And when we type our answer into the box, when you have positive numbers, you don't need to put the plus sign. we can just enter a 3. -1 times 3. Look at those signs. Are they the same or different? Hopefully you said or you thought different, because looky, we have a -1 and then nothing in front of that 3, meaning it's a positive. If their signs are different, your answer will be negative. Now that you know that, do the multiplication. 1 times 3 is 3. Our answer is a -3. All right, let's jump it up a notch. Let's multiply this one. 5 times 11. How about the signs? Do they have the same sign or different? Their signs are the same. There's nothing there, meaning they're both positive numbers. With multiplication or division, same sign, your answer will always be positive. Now do the math. 5 times 11 is 55. So a positive 55. Sometimes you will see the division written like you're used to. Just kind of depends. Get a nice little mixture. -40 divided by -5. Are their signs the same or different? Their signs are the same. Looky there, the 40 is negative and the 5 is negative. Same sign, positive answer. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. And then 40 divided by 5 would be 8. Positive 8 is our answer. Let's do this one and then we'll bump it up a notch one more time. Multiply -3 times 3. Look at your signs. Are they the same or different? They are the same. We have a oh, I said the wrong word. Are they the same? No, they're not. They're different. We have a -3 and we have a +3. So they are different. Be careful, because as I just did, it's easy to accidentally think or say the wrong thing. Because their signs are different, that means our answer will be a negative. 3 times 3 is 9. So -3 times +3 is a -9. Let's jump it up one more level. The nice thing is, guys, when you get to these, the integer part stays the same. We just obviously have larger numbers that you need to multiply. So you may get to the point where you need to do it by hand and not necessarily in your head. 80 times -5. First, figure out the sign. We have a positive 80 being multiplied by a -5. A positive times a negative, those signs are different, which means our answer will be negative. Now, if you're able to do this in your head, awesome. But if not, let's do a quick refresher on how you can work out multiplication. 80 times 5. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. Our answer would be 400, but is it really 400? It's a -400, because what we found out earlier was our signs were different, which means our answer needs to be negative. Ooh, let's end on this one. Let's do a division problem, because you may have a division one that, once again, you can't do in your head. So we can do a nice quick refresher on how to divide by hand. But first, let's figure out our sign. A -289 divided by a -17. Well, their signs are the same, a negative divided by a negative. If their signs are the same, then your answer will be positive. When you have a problem set up as a fraction that represents division, it is your numerator divided by your denominator. So 289 divided by 17. That is key because it ensures that we set up our long division properly. If it's 289 divided by 17, what we're dividing by is our divisor that goes on the outside. And then the 289 is what we're dividing, that is our dividend, and it goes on the inside. Now, I don't know about you, but when I memorized my multiplication facts, I stopped at 12. I memorized them all the way through 12, and then past that, I don't have them memorized. A couple different strategies. One, you can use repeated addition. So off to the side here, you can keep adding 17 over and over again until you see how many times it can go into 289. Second option is you can just do a little bit of like a guess and check method. So we can show some work and see what 17 times 2 is, 17 times 5, and go through and try a couple different ones until we get our answer. But first, what I'm actually going to do, because 289 is a pretty big number, remember the best way to do long division when it's a difficult problem like this is to look and see how many times 17 can go into each part. So first off, can 17 go into 2? Nope, it can't. Now we can look at the 2 and the 8 together, so 28. How many times can 17 go into 28? If I had to guess, I would say 1 time, but I'm going to do 17 times 2 off to the side just to make sure I'm not wrong. So 17 times 2, 2 times 7 is 14, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Yep, 34 is larger than 28, so my guess was correct. 17 can go into 28 1 time. And then we subtract that value. 28 minus 17, 8 minus 7 is 1, 2 minus 1 is 1, and then we bring down our 9. Now it's a little bit smaller. We only got to see how many times 17 can go into 119. When I do my multiplication method, where I kind of call it like guess and check, I always like to start in the middle. Start with whatever my number is times 5, because that helps me gauge whether I need to go up or down. 17 times 5, 5 times 7 is 35, carry the 3, bring down the 5. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3, 6, 7, 8, 85. That's lower, I gotta go up, but it's not that much lower. So it's, maybe I'll do 17 times 7 then. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Ooh, looky there. I found my winner. And I don't have any remainder. Now, I'm super excited I got my answer, but I got to remember about my sign. What did I say my sign was? It'll be a positive, because a negative 289 divided by a negative 17 gives us a positive. And our answer just happens to be a positive 17. So look at that, that's a perfect square. All right, now it's your turn to try it. So go into this IXL assignment. I know you got it. Remember that if you have the same sign, your answer is positive. If you have different signs, your answer will be negative. Good luck, guys.